good morning. I'm Parampreet Singh. Welcome to the Meditation Questions podcast, part of the Immersion Meditation Network. Meditation without gods, reincarnation, afterlife, or the supernatural. If you'd like to support us, please visit meditationquestions.com. Today's question: can meditation be bad for me? The short answer: yes, it can. I know this sounds strange, but I am very excited about this episode because it's something I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. It's very important, and most people don't hear this message very much. Before I start talking about how meditation can be really bad, I should talk about why I love it and why it's so great. So this is why this is episode 15, but I seriously contemplated making it episode 1. And it deserves to be something that's heard when people first start meditating. So even though this is episode 15, I'm going to place a button for it in a prominent place on the website. So I'm going to go about describing the ways in which meditation actually can be bad for us. But I obviously want to make it clear, I'm a cheerleader for meditation. I've been meditating for over 40 years. I'm going to continue doing it. And I do have a daily meditation practice. I am continually learning meditation techniques, and I'm continually reading the ancient meditation texts because I just love doing it. They're my joy. I get a lot of value out of them. Here are the main points about meditation before we start talking about the ways in which it can be bad for you. First thing we have to be clear on, meditation does not make someone a better person. It just makes them more of who they already are. Becoming a better person, and the way I define better person is someone who's more open, someone who's more thoughtful, someone who's more caring, values fairness and equity. Becoming that kind of person involves wanting to be more open, more thoughtful, more caring, valuing fairness and equity more. And that can be done with or without meditation. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we can hurt ourselves doing almost anything if we do too much of it or if we do it incorrectly. A great example is sports injuries. Getting injured through meditation is just like getting injured during a sport activity that you might not have experience in or that you might be doing incorrectly and can result in pulled muscles, in broken bones, in concussions. I know those are very hard things to hear, but I've had all of those experiences playing sports, so I'm well aware of the dangers. Now, I'm not a musician, but I have lots of friends who are musicians, and I know even playing music can lead to all kinds of injuries. You could damage your voice, you could pull a muscle. I know musicians who have accidentally walked right off the stage. Musician injuries are common. The repetitive strain by a particular motion is common. Another example, you could get injured doing a simple thing like gardening. I know people who have done this. You could end up pulling a back muscle while picking up something heavy, or you could end up with joint pain from bending over or squatting too much. And the most extreme example of all, I have hurt myself with a paper cut while reading. So almost anything can lead to an injury, and we want to do it safely and sensibly. Getting back to meditation. Can meditation be bad for you? Yes. meditation can be bad for you in a very special way, mentally. What happens in meditation is that we bring our awareness to our thinking and to our feeling. And for some people, that's not really a big deal. They enjoy it. They like reflecting on it. They like bringing that awareness to their mental world. But for others, especially those with a history of trauma or a history with anxiety or obsessive thoughts, meditation can bring too much focus and awareness and attention to our thinking and being. For those, if they don't have experience or support in managing these issues, and when I say support, I mean professional support, it can result in very bad outcomes. Physical activities can lead to physical injuries, and mental activities can lead to mental issues. Now, the difference is with physical injuries, you're still grounded mentally. Of course, anyone who's had back pain knows that it can possess your mind and it can be very, very hard to do anything or think anything. So certainly physical injuries also affect our mind. But for the most part, with physical injuries, you can still think and act and be social and be involved with your environment. The thing with meditation is that it can lead to serious problems, both emotionally and mentally, that disengages you from the world or makes you act in a very harmful manner in the world. Common issues that can come up with people in meditation, people can end up being more narcissistic. They can have a sense of spiritual superiority. It can result in spiritual bypassing. This is a more recent term, but it's a really important one. Spiritual bypassing is when bad things happen to you, you bypass their badness and think, oh, it's all for the good, or, oh, it's all because of this amazing practice I'm doing and everything will be taken care of. I don't need to address whatever harm is coming my way or negative experiences are coming my way. I don't need to address them. Just my being spiritual will solve them on their own. So it can be really problematic that way. And one of the main ways meditation can also be problematic is a resurgence of traumatic memories. I also know situations in which people who start meditating, they can become overly sensitive because they're bringing so much attention to their sensations and their thinking. They can become too sensitive to everyday events. Someone else might handle without any difficulty whatsoever. They can become very upsetting. And then the opposite is true as well. Some people can become undersensitive by meditating too much, where life events, they just don't mean as much. They don't affect us in a deep emotional way. And everything feels kind of dull and boring. Now, in the last episode, I said meditation will not make you dull or lacking in emotion. And I still stick by that because I've been a part of meditation communities. Meditation really opens people up emotionally so they can express themselves more fully. But there is this one exception. There is the exception of people for whom mindfulness can lead to a dulling of emotions. It can lead to a numbing of feeling because they feel like everything should be on an even keel, that they shouldn't judge something good or bad and should have this flat response to everything. And if you are experiencing this with mindfulness meditation, you should stop meditating. It's time to begin to participate in activities that engage you with the world again. It could be physical activities like sports, or it could be social activities like going for a walk with friends or doing something fun and goofy like karaoke. Whatever activities or hobbies it is, you can choose the ones that suit your personality and do more of those. The idea is to participate in something that brings meaning and purpose and emotional connection and social connection to your life. After my morning meditation, I go down to the kitchen, make a cup of tea, and watch the sunrise. These few minutes are as valuable and healing for me as the time I spend sitting in meditation. I live with my father who's in his 80s, and I try to sit with him and have just an ordinary conversation with him every day. Just sit and chat about whatever's happening with him, whatever he's interested in, whether that's something on the news or some memory from his childhood, or just even some random thing that he might be thinking about. Both of these things, drinking the cup of tea, watching the sunrise, and talking with my father, are as valuable to me as meditating. They're as important. Meditation helps me be in those moments more fully, be more emotionally engaged, be more mentally engaged. Meditation should be a boon in your life. It should not be a curse. If it feels like a curse, then it's time to put meditation aside for a while and turn to something else. One thing to keep in mind is the meditation practices of the ancients were not isolated self-help or business success techniques. They were developed as practices for becoming a caring, thoughtful, ethical, acting member in a community, in a sangha. And sangha, we talked about this term in the episode about do I need to meditate with others. Sangha is the Sanskrit word for community, a spiritual community, a meditation community. The idea for meditation is that we're trying to make ourselves better for ourselves, better for our family, better for our community, and better for the world. And this means cultivating certain virtues: compassion, humility, generosity, sacrifice for the good of the self and the good of the community. And once we remove these social aims from meditation, it's easy for meditation to result in adverse personality traits. Meditation that is divorced from the ethical quickly leads to narcissism. And the only way, as we said at the beginning of this episode, to be a better person is to want to be a better person. Whether you meditate or not, it doesn't make a difference. You can be the most incredible meditator in the world and still be not a good person. And there are hundreds of examples of this, of very famous spiritual leaders that we can turn to as evidence. If you are a beginner meditator, I highly recommend integrating meditation into your life slowly. When I was in my 30s, that's when I learned to skate and play ice hockey. I joined a hockey league where everyone else also was in their 20s and up who did not know how to skate and play ice hockey. And this league took beginner safety seriously. If you're familiar with ice hockey, you probably know it can be an extremely violent contact sport. That's not what I was looking for. I wanted to learn to skate and have some fun on the ice. The beginners adult league I joined was a non-contact league, meaning we didn't hit each other, we didn't try to push each other out of the way. We just used our sticks to get the puck. And we did not start playing with experienced players who knew how to skate and hit and shoot the puck at life-threatening speeds. We played it safe and fun. Now, if you're not familiar with ice hockey, think of swimming. I don't really know how to swim. I've tried to learn as an adult, and I haven't become successful yet. Maybe